Hello, you're watching Kel67 Gaming, and it's been a little while since we've done the last one.
Yep. So it's time for another haul.
So we've obviously shopping, as we always
Yeah.
do, doing a bit of game hunting, but we had the added bonus this month of
Nerd.
Northeast Retro Gen. So we went to their thing, and obviously
Quite a lot to choose from if you're buying, which we were. So, and we did pick up a decent amount as well.
we did pick up quite a nice stack of stuff. So we'll get into what we've got straight away. And the first thing that we picked up, this was at Northeast Retro Den, is this controller. This is obviously for the PS1. Now, I have never seen one of these before. It is an official Sony Computer Entertainment Europe product.
It has two sets of bumper buttons on each side, doesn't it?
Well, of course it does.
Why?
L1 and L2. How long is it since you played PlayStation?
But isn't there meant to be triggers instead of a second set of bumpers?
Well, this is like a competition pad, so it's got rapid fire and all that sort of stuff on it. You don't get things like this anymore, and I've certainly never seen an officially licensed one before. And it's one of those things, because I'd never seen it before, had to buy it.
I don't think it wasn't even that much either.
I can't remember. What I do remember was there was this and there was an Eggcon, and I'd quite like both. But I see Eggcons every now and again. I've never seen one of these, so this is the one that I had to pick up.
Next up is another controller. This is a Nintendo Super Famicom controller. Now this is a full-on one, and it was quite cheap for being a Famicom controller.
Well, it was alright. I think it was about a £5. So
Yeah, something like that.
you can never have enough controllers for
Yep.
your Super Famicom, because at some point they're all going to break.
Yeah.
Although they're quite easy to fix. I don't know how many people have taken them apart, but there's not really a lot inside there. Next thing I got this month, again for exactly the same reason as the PS1 controller, because I'd never actually seen one, but this is an official Sony PlayStation 2 watch. It doesn't link to your PlayStation 2 or anything like that. It's just a watch, but it's officially licensed and branded by Sony. It's got the PS2 branding on it, and it does take a monster of a battery. I don't know if all watches back in the day took batteries that was that big, but it takes an absolute monster.
Next up for the Dreamcast is Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. Now, we do have this on the PS1 if I remember correctly, however it was at a very good price for a Dreamcast game, that is.
And I would imagine the Dreamcast version is going to be better because it's a more powerful machine.
Yeah, but obviously we've already had it, but it's always good to pick up some stuff for the Dreamcast, especially a Tomb Raider game.
Because I like Tomb Raider a lot.
Exactly. So just one of those pickups where we saw it and just had to get it. So
another good pickup we had here on a system that we don't often get pickups for. This is a Super Famicom game. This one is Super Puyo. I absolutely love the Puyo games, so was really happy when I saw this for just a few quid. It's obviously hasn't got the box, and this is our first Super Famicom game that we haven't got the box for.
Yeah.
But you never know, we might be able to pick a box up at some point. Might get a junk lot off Syndico or something like that that's got one. But I love the game. Happy to have that.
next up for the PlayStation 1 is Demolition Derby 2. I've been playing quite a bit of Wreckfest as of recent, so it kind of made sense to pick it up. Plus PS1 games, we don't quite get them as often, but
You don't see them as often as you would expect to.
But considering I've been playing Wreckfest, this should be something which I will be playing quite a bit, I would imagine. But yeah.
Another cart, because love carts. Not so keen on these being cart only, because again, this is something that we would usually collect in a box, but it is cart only and it was at a decent price. This is for the Nintendo 64, and this is Ecw Powerful Pro Ecw 6. It's a baseball game. Anybody who's watched our pickups knows that I really do quite like baseball games. This is a pretty good one. We got the Wii version of this game a couple of months ago. This is the N64 version. It was only a couple of quid. Definitely well worth my time.
Next up again for the Dreamcast, this is Virtua Fighter. And is it 30th? Or
Virtua Fighter 3 basically.
yeah.
3 TB.
Yeah, so pretty much, you know what you're getting into with Virtua Fighter, you're getting into a really good fighter. Being on the Dreamcast, it should perform really well. And to be fair, it's just one which I think we could potentially play together at some point,
Probably.
potentially. But yeah, it's just one of those.
I'll kick your arse at that one.
I mean, you don't know.
A cart with a box and a manual. This one is for the Game Boy Color. This is Ecw Hardcore Revolution. It's a really bad game. Let's not beat around the bush here. Terrible game. But I actually loved ECW back in the day when it was going. So for me, it's more about getting it for that than for the game. Because yes, the game is absolutely horrendous, as all wrestling games on the Game Boy Color are.
But to be fair, it's in boxing. I think it was only around £5, wasn't it? Or something like that. So
that shows you how good the game is.
next up for the original Xbox is Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. Now this is obviously Metal Gear Solid 2, which is the one which you don't play as Snake in, if I remember correctly.
I think you do for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and then Hideo Kojima's like, right, now that I've got the footage for the trailer, you can be riding.
Yeah. I don't think it's appeared in many games after this though, really.
No, he's
just
up
the
a couple of
spin-off, Vengeance and that, which I can remember. But so for the Xbox, and it was quite a good price for a Metal Gear Solid.
Another game that I had never seen before, God knows how, had to have it because obviously this is Celtic Football Coach, season 2001-2002. That's the only season that they ever done, as far as I can tell.
And it's still sealed and everything.
It is still sealed. It will get unsealed, I will play it, but I can't imagine that it's going to be a Football Manager 2021 beta. But obviously, whenever there's something Celtic branded comes out on a computer or on a console, got to have it.
Next up for the Sega Saturn, which is a console which we don't actually tend to find stuff at for a good price for the games. This is Command and Conquer 1. Now, Command and Conquer being a strategy game, primarily played on the PC. The buttons kind of don't link up as well on the Saturn controller itself.
No, I think it plays fine.
But it is still a good game to play.
I think that it plays absolutely champion on the Saturn.
Well, you kind of got the.
And I'm the one that likes Command and Conquer. So
but you've got a button in between them and everything, so
it doesn't matter. It plays absolutely brilliantly. Another one of my favourite games of all time is the arcade version of Outrun. Managed to pick up on the original Xbox. Outrun 2. There's drifting on this. It's like a hybrid Outrun Ridge Racer thing. That's not a bad thing. I would have personally preferred it to be a straight up Outrun sequel, but hey ho, that's what it is. Arcade racing at its best though. Sega always excel when they're doing that.
Speaking of Sega, this is a Sega Master System game. This is the Terminator. So it is a side-scrolling, which is quite a bit of some of Sega's older consoles.
Well, on the 8-bit systems, everything was a side-scroller.
So, but
hardware limitations.
This one with the Terminator, so you pretty much somewhat know what you're getting into with a Master System game. So, but yeah, should be something good to play through.
Something we don't have. Another Saturn game. One of my favourite games of all time. Played it on Steam not so long ago. The original Tomb Raider. I'm led to believe that the Saturn was the console that it was originally done for, and then it was ported everywhere else.
And
I have to say, confusing as hell with the button layout for someone who's used to playing it
On the PS1.
on PlayStation, and I mean, when I play it Steam, I map the buttons on the controller the PlayStation way, so it is challenging to say the least, just from that point of view.
But it's our only actual physical copy of Tomb Raider 1.
Well,
So yeah.
it's a good
Next
one
up
to
for the
have.
PlayStation 2, this is Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. Now, for Jak and Daxter, I think it was quite cheap. What we picked up for, I think it was around £5 or something. And considering it's one of the exclusives to PlayStation as well.
Can I just say, I don't think I've ever played a Jak and Daxter game.
No, neither, but they're meant to be quite good, if I remember correctly. So for the price that was at, I think just had to pick it up, really.
Another pickup that I was really pleased with when I saw, got a reasonable price on it too. This is a game on the GameCube. This is Star Wars, Rogue Squadron 3,
Rebel Strike.
The Rogue Squadron games obviously are brilliant. And I love Star Wars. This was like a no-brainer. But it's never ever been a particularly cheap game. Especially because GameCube games are
Quite expensive.
they're quite rare, so they hold their value. So I was
Well, that's unless it's a sports game.
Well.
It doesn't really hold it as much. But
but I was glad that I found that at a reasonable price, and I'm sure that I'll get some fun out of it.
next up for the PlayStation 2, this is Resident Evil 4. When I saw this at the price that it was at, considering what else I've seen, it was at least £10 or something. I think this was around the £5. It's one of the Resident Evils which I haven't played so far, so it was pretty much a no-brainer for me to go and pick it up, considering obviously I will play through it and everything. So yeah, but there you go.
PlayStation 3 gets a lot of love in this house, so we picked up a PlayStation 3 game. We got Infamous 2. I actually can't believe we never had it physically.
I don't even think we've got Infamous 1 physically.
No, I don't think we've got them digitally. We've had them
Yes.
digitally for years. But guess it's time to start picking up more physical copies.
Yeah.
Because that digital store is going to go down at some point, and we've just got like an 80 gig PS3, so we can't have everything downloaded on it. Really, digital's not a great idea, but you know.
Next up for the PlayStation 3 again, this is Little Big Planet 1, and this was only 99 pence as well. So at that price,
And it's a great game.
yeah, exactly, great fun and everything.
But
So
this is another one I can't believe that we never had this. Because I remember you playing this a lot when you were a kid.
well, because we probably had it digitally because it went on PlayStation Plus or something.
Maybe. I don't know.
But
We've definitely got it, but it would be digitally.
but we
rather
now
than-
have it physically.
Yeah.
So
A game that I have absolutely loved for years, but doesn't get much love at all. It's quite an obscure title, I guess. And this is the remixed version of Outlaw Volleyball. I think I've already got the original, which I mean it's basically the same game. I think there's a little bit extra content on it, a couple new courts, but that's about it.
but
But it's a game that I don't know why, but I got it when it first came out, and I can't even remember why I picked it up, because it's not like I'm a volleyball player or anything like that.
it says it comes with extra game modes on it
You know,
as well. So
but I just absolutely loved playing the game. It's a really good challenge when you get a few levels in or a few games in. Love the game, and I'll play through that again quite happily.
next up, a system which I think we both enjoy playing. However, we don't actually tend to have quite a lot of physicals for it. This is for the Wii U. This is Lego Jurassic World. The Lego games tend to be quite fun as well, don't they? So
We used to play them all the time. Yeah, you say it's a system that we really like. And while that's true, we don't tend to play
as much.
the Wii U that often. I think probably because I can't even remember how much this was, but I guarantee on every other system it would have cost like less than half the price. That's probably why we don't play it so much, because cross-gen games are always so much more expensive on it.
However, this one was actually a really good price for a Wii U game in itself, and it's one that we didn't have, and one that I'm sure I will have fun playing through.
Another bit of 8-bit goodness. This is Super Smash TV on the Master System. This is an appalling version of the game. This is not the version to play, because two buttons does it no justice whatsoever. Actually, the Mega Drive version, if you're playing on a 3-button controller, is no good either. Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, that's the version to go. It's a twin stick shooter, so you'll never get twin sticks. Well, unless you got we've got it on the Xbox original as well, and you can twin stick shooter it on that. But the Super Famicom one, obviously you can use the 4 fire buttons as 4 directions of fire, which turns into 8 directions, because you know how it works. But I'm still happy to have it because I loved Smash TV when I was a kid. It was a game that I hate to think how many 10 pences I put into that arcade machine. Never got very far in it, I have to say.
Next up for the 360, however you won't be able to tell that from the box, this is the limited collector's edition of Alan Wake. Now, this was one of those where I believe we picked up quite a few games from one person at Nerd.
This is one that I've never seen before either. We've got the standard Alan Wake, obviously, everyone's got that. I'm sure that this must have come inside a box with a figure or something.
Or like an art book or something like that, most likely. But yeah, I think it was £1 or something. For that price, it's something which really you don't want to be passing up on that much.
I've got a nice little pickup for the Xbox One. This is an RPG by Sega, very much in the style of Valkyria Chronicles. The art style anyway. This is Shining Resonance Refrain. If I'm going to be absolutely honest, we got it for the box.
Yes, because it's such a weird thing.
I've never seen one like this before. I've seen steelbooks, I've seen never one of this. You can see it, obviously it is.
It's got a sleeve and then you've got a metal tin.
It's a steel tin, but it just holds
the regular game case.
The regular game case, yeah, so never seen one like that before. For that reason alone, I picked it up. Knowing that I love the Valkyria Chronicles, Valkyria Revolution games by Sega, and it's probably going to be quite similar to that, I should imagine.
Next up, a system which we actually do have quite a lot for, but this is one which we don't. This is for the Wii. This is Monster 4x4 World Circuit. Now, this, by the back, it kind of reminds me a bit of just what would happen if Wreckfest or Demolition Derby was going to be, but just with monster trucks, because
not like that at all.
You can put an ambulance, you can put a bus in every different type of vehicle on it.
But it is a bit of a hidden gem on the Wii. Obviously there's some footage shown at the minute. If you like what you see, maybe look out for it, see if you want to pick it up.
And to be fair, that actually looks quite good, the football mode as well.
We've got another game that we already had the standard edition of. I think we might have had a different edition of it as well, I can't remember. But this is Halo 3, this is the big tin with all the gubbins in it. I'll be honest with you, we've got it. The original, we've got it, and obviously on the Master Chief Collection as well.
But we didn't have this version of it.
I don't play Halo games. Actually, that's a lie. I've played Halo 1 on the Master Chief Collection.
And you played 2?
I played it all the way through. I didn't play 2 all the way through.
No, but you did start it.
I did start it. Because I got through the first one, I thought I'll start the second one, but never got into it.
Next up, for the Xbox 360, this is the Steelbook of Gears of War 3.
We already had this.
We already had this, but
it's in better shape than the one.
Better shape, and for the few pound which it is, it's an amazing game to play through. I love the Gears of War franchise as a whole. I believe I've played through every last one of them. So
it's one of those things. Yes, we already had that. We had that version of it.
We've also got the normal version.
Yeah. But there's some games that it's enough just to have them. And that does you, but when games like Gears of War, there's so many of them out there, the price is so low, you get what you want, and then if you see a better version you can afford to get it. So that's basically what we did. Picked up another Wii game as well. This one is Soul Calibur Legends. Everyone knows what Soul Calibur is. This actually isn't a standard fighting game though, that you know from the rest of the series. This is like an adventure hack and slash game.
It's a bit like Dynasty Warriors, isn't it?
No, it's not mass battles like Dynasty Warriors. It's more hack and slash, like the Dark Souls without the difficulty.
Okay.
Right, so it's that kind of thing. You're running about with a big sword, swiping enemies away. But yeah, something that I don't see very often. Didn't cost a lot of money, so picked up.
Next up for the PlayStation 3, this is the Gold Edition of Battlefield Bad Company. Now, I love shooters as a whole. Battlefield is one which I don't believe I've played a lot of in general, to be honest with you, but we do have all of them, if I remember correctly, apart from the new one, which is either coming out or has came out. So yeah, and I don't believe we have this version, but we do have the original, like the standard on the PlayStation 3, but it's just one of those things where it's cheap as anything, I think a few £. So
if you like it, you can run set of trophies on PlayStation 3 and then get your gamer score on
Xbox 360.
Because I'm sure we've got it on that as well.
Probably.
And just one last thing. Picked up a little Nintendo DSi branded case. I don't know how a DSi fits in there. It obviously stretches a bit.
It looks more like something you put your phone in, to be honest, than a DS.
But again, it was something that I'd never seen one of these before, and it cost so little I thought picking it up. And that's it. That's everything that we picked up over the last month or so since the last
something like that
pickups video. I think we've done all right. We've got a good mix of different systems that we've picked up for.
Yeah, and a decent mix of different genres of games and everything.
I think quite often we get the same things over and over again, because if you go out game hunting, it tends to be like PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One that you see a lot.
And you'll get the occasional whale game.
Or if we go out of our way to get a Super Famicom lot, sometimes with like, I think a few months ago we had a pickups video. It was all Super Famicom basically.
And most of them were Derby Stallion or something like that.
But because we went to Northeast Retro Dent, there was a lot more available, so we got to really get a good mix of stuff, I think. So really happy about that. But that is it for this time. So if you haven't already,
give us a like, a share, and a subscribe, and turn the notification bell so you can find out when we upload, and we will see you in the next video.